A very good evening and a warm welcome to UBC News Tonight. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Museveni says NRM election losers will be supported. NRM ready to defend its victory in court. Government warns against political violence. And African countries roll out mass COVID-19 vaccination campaigns. A warm welcome once again to UBC News Tonight on the 31st day of January 2021. I'm Lauryn, Masika, Kazimoto, and on the sign language we do have Mugalu, Mohammed. Now we start off with our first headlining story this evening. The National Resistance Movement members of Parliament who lost in the recent elections should know that the party is with them and will find ways of supporting them, President Museveni has said. The President, who is also the National Chairman of the National Resistance Movement, was addressing the NRM caucus sitting at Kololo Independence Ground in Kampala. The NRM chairman urged the MPs to go back, integrate in the community and solve issues of homestead incomes for the people, which is currently a big challenge. Take a look.
I congratulate you and thank you for supporting the NRM all this time. And for making your contribution, because I know all of you have made different types of contributions to the success of the NRM.
President Museveni, who is also the national chairman of the National Resistance Movement, has addressed the NRM caucus sitting at Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala. The president also told NRM members of parliament who lost in the recent elections that the party is with them and will find ways of supporting them.
Those who are not elected, don't be disheartened. Be firm. We are with you.
The president encouraged the MPs who won to focus on developing their communities and country, adding that politics should be about making a contribution and not a means of livelihood.
I want to initiate our political cadres into the culture of economic self-sufficiency. Don't depend on politics for livelihood. Have your livelihood independent of politics.
He urged MPs to go back, integrate in the community and solve issues of homestead incomes for the people, which is currently a big challenge.
We want to encourage those who are not elected to agree to my idea that we set up a fund to help them develop self-sufficiency businesses in their constituencies, so that you take root. You take root, you don't just go floating on top, being tossed around by opportunists. You become firm, so that when you go to politics to make a contribution, not to look for a livelihood.
The president also told the caucus that the country was progressing well on the infrastructure front, but added that there were concerns about officials who had refused to fully implement the Universal Primary and Secondary Education (UPE) and USE programs. President Museveni also pointed out challenges like land evictions, especially in Uganda, and cheating to have cost the NRM party some positions.
The other weak point is your own lack of thoroughness in doing things. Because like in Uganda, there was a lot of cheating. These MPs were not defeated, they were cheated. But they were cheated because of their own lack of thoroughness.
The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Museveni, used the occasion to ask MPs to support and explain to the public the government's position on reopening of schools and higher institutions of learning.
When you go into this parliament, please don't allow your opposition to really push us to make mistakes. I wanted so much to give you the information behind our refusing to open schools right away. I wanted you to know that we are not just doing nothing. We are trying to analyze the situation so that if we open schools, we will have put in a lot of thoughts.
She warned against sending children to school before a comprehensive analysis and recommendation of the way forward by experts. The government chief whip and woman MP for Chiwoga District, Honorable Ruth Nankabira, commended the country for voting massively for President Museveni and NRM, mandating them to steer the country for the next 5 years. She said the party needs to do a general audit of what went wrong in those regions where the NRM performed poorly.
The National Resistance Party is ready to defend its 14th January 2021 victory, where President Yoweri Museveni was declared winner against 10 other presidential candidates. The party Secretary General Justin Kasule Lumumba disclosed this at a press conference at the party offices in Kampala.
The National Resistance Movement Party Secretary General Justin Kasule Lumumba has said the NRM is ready to defend President Yoweri Museveni's victory in court against National Unity Platform. This follows National Unity Platform's lawyers' recent move to lodge an intention to sue letter at the Supreme Court.
As a party, we have all our declaration forms from all the polling stations. We have them ready. We have our declaration form for the presidential from the National Electoral Commission. And when we are served, we shall respond. We have our lawyers going through the declaration forms to see what is missing so that the Secretary General can provide as we wait for what the details of the petition.
Lumumba also says the National Resistance Movement is happy with the excellent results of the recent local government elections, where it again posted a resounding win.
Chotera District, NRM has 7, NOP has 6, DP has 6, Independents are 3, FDC has 1. Lyantonde District, NRM has 12, Independents are 2. Rakai, NRM has 24, Independents are 7, NOP has 3. Kalungu District, NRM has 2, NOP has 10, Independents are 1. Ruengo District, NRM has 10, NOP has 6.
Lumumba also disclosed that the party has dispatched teams to all regions to ensure youth elections being held on Monday at the regional level are successful.
We've dispatched teams that are working with the people in those areas and the youth who are in the Electoral College. But I want you to remember that as NRM, we put in a lot of effort, mobilized the youth to make sure we win the majority seats in the youth councils.
Youth representatives to parliament elections are being held this Monday at 4 electoral areas in Central, Northern, Eastern and Western.
The Minister for Information, Communication and Technology, Judith Nabakova, has advised the public against thinking of causing chaos. This warning comes at the backdrop of social media clips urging Ugandans to prepare for the worst.
Social media video clips are making rounds urging members of the public to stay away from the city center between 4th and 7th February 2021, saying there is going to be violent protests. No government says investigations and intelligence networks are working around the clock to nip the chaos planners in the bud.
Government has received information that there are some people who are planning to cause chaos between the 3rd and 7th of February. Information has been circulating on media platforms, but also among members of the public. These individuals are moving around spreading harmful propaganda that the country will shut down during those days, that is between the 3rd and 7th of February. They are intimidating members of the public, they are intimidating taxi drivers, asking them not to work on the nation days.
The Minister for Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, however, assures all Ugandans that there is peace and safety for all.
As government, we want to stand firm and call upon everyone to disassociate themselves from such evil plans. The country is safe, and the security will work fast to arrest anyone planning to cause chaos during the respective days. Information has been picked, and the security forces are planning to take action immediately.
The threats come at a time when National Unity Platform's presidential race loser Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is set to petition the High Court on Monday, 1st February 2021, in regards to the 14th January presidential outcome.
We have also witnessed the overcrowding in and around the courts of law, with supporters gathering to follow petitions. Going forward, we have been advised to stay away from the courts of law, limiting presence to the immediate parties and lawyers. Communication from the Chief Justice is meant to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but also to strengthen the existing standard operating procedures towards the prevention of COVID-19.
As the country winds up elections, many could have wished governments to reopen learning institutions to all classes, but according to Minister Judith Nabakova, patience is still needed.
During the NRM caucus meeting yesterday, we received a brief from the Minister of Education about the state of preparedness in some institutions countrywide. Cabinet sitting tomorrow will receive a full report on the state of preparedness in education institutions. As we wait for the guidance from our scientists and His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, I'll call upon all academic institutions to continue working on the expected standard operating procedures.
Nabakova, who was addressing the media at her office in Kampala, reminded the public that COVID-19 cases are on the rise now, estimated at 39,533 confirmed cases and 324 deaths, with the Kampala Metropolitan accounting for over 50% of the total registered cases. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kampala.
Hoima Village City and District Village leaders are being given bicycles to aid them in their mobilization efforts. The 533 bicycles are part of the 68,000 bicycles that were flagged off by President Yoweri Museveni in August last year. The bicycles are meant to ease the leaders' transport so that they can conduct their businesses smoothly.
National Resistance Movement village chairpersons in Hoima City and the district respectively are to receive bicycles to ease their movements. At least 533 bicycles are already in Hoima and being given to the party's chairpersons as a boost to their mobilization role for the party.
Egali nteli ya chairman, no, egali eri yekiaro. Chunga chairman alohoga supervisor egali egyo. Chonde tekumisa eri personal bicycle because na receipt tekusoma mabara guha ga chairman. Receipt tekusoma mabara ge kitebe.
Hoima District Deputy RDC Richard Tavaro handed over the bicycles to parish and division chairpersons in Hoima.
Pate hati yatandika okukora nkapati. Yatandika okukora ebintu ebya pati. Egaari zino zijja kandi ekirunga ba Hoima muzitungire akarura k'enka hweri. Abambaka bano bagamba president aziteireyo chairman wa pate okumuseruza akarura. Nangwe kaba program ya pate hata abantu abo bafune gari batandika okumobilizing abantu mbyare va program. Mobilization teba ya karuru konka. Abantu baita abwache na bahabu ubutimba mosquito nets batakubukozesa.
The beneficiaries, however, wanted government to list give them motorcycles for better mobility.
Abo emirimu tukozere kuri byenyu nukuika hatibuni. When tutungaka pikipiki nikotwongeremu amanya tuwa tukuba tutungira akasiba ako kwa tutuna musaro gututunga kuya tutunga okugari. Otherwise kuba ile pikipiki tumanye akasimu tumazili laito tugoboro iro mwina alaremu.
The bicycles are meant to facilitate village national resistance movement leaders carrying out their mobilization activities. President Yoweri Museveni flagged off 68,000 bicycles to aid the mobilization activities by the National Resistance Movement Party in villages across the country last year in August. He said that the bicycles were procured from contributions.
The body of Sobazi Mussaaka, the founder of the Faith of Unity, has been laid to rest at Kapiemi headquarters in Kagadi district. The Minister of Finance and Planning, Masika, represented Yoweri Museveni during the last respect of the fallen Sobazi Mussaaka, whose body was embalmed after his death on the 13th of January. President Museveni, in his eulogy read for him by Masika, thanked Sobazi Mussaaka, who embraced government programs and promoted peace, unity and development in the country.
The body of Sobazi Mussaaka, the founder of the Faith of Unity, has been laid to rest at Kapiemi headquarters in Kagadi district. Mourners veiled in white thronged Kapiemi headquarters to bid farewell to a man they referred to as their god. The Minister for Finance and Economic Monitoring, Masika, represented President Yoweri Museveni at the funeral and applauded the fallen Sobazi for fighting against witchcraft, cannibalism, domestic violence and tribalism in Bunyoro and the entire country. Omhereza Baguma and Alinda said Sobazi did not die completely because he is a god, but his soul still exists and that he has appeared to some believers since his death.
kandi tutagenda maiso n'omulimu guno ndemikirize eyakairo.
Followers claim that Sobazi Mussaaka has done a lot for them and continues to appear to them physically and in visions. They further noted that their religion will continue to be strong than ever before, contrary to what people say. The body of Sobazi Mussaaka was placed in a special room for the followers to continue worshipping him every 22nd, 12th, 2nd of every month. Dignitaries that attended the funeral service included Dr. Kasiri Vuchamanywa, Minister of State Office of the Vice President David Karwanga, the State Minister for Public Service, RDCs, MPs, LC5 chairpersons from Bunyoro, Toro, Buganda, Mbarara, Kabale, Mubende, Chegegwa, among others.
UBC News Tonight. Now, the founder of Namirembe Christian Fellowship, Professor Simon Kaweesi, has urged married couples to love each other genuinely. Professor Kaweesi, who is also the Chancellor of Kaweesi International University, was officiating at the holy matrimony of a UPDF pastor, Sergeant Universe Nahwera Ruhuriza and Sandra Nahwera at Namirembe Christian Fellowship in Rubaga Division, Kampala.
Ecstasy was all over at Namirembe Christian Fellowship in Rubaga Division, Kampala City, when a UPDF renowned pastor, Sergeant Universe Nahwera Ruhuriza, wedded Sandra and Dinda Nahwera formally. While officiating the holy matrimony, the founder of Namirembe Christian Fellowship, Professor Simon Kaweesi, said that in marriage both sides have to love, care, and be prayerful at all times. He affirms that once these are practiced in marriage daily, it reduces cases of divorce and domestic violence among the married couples.
Both of them should behave in a loving way to each other. Both of them, not just the wife or the husband, but both of them should put energies into the love. See, make sure that your husband really feels that you love him by the things you do.
Kaweesi also emphasized that those who are in marriage should be obedient and dependable despite any human errors.
Marriage is a polite canon. It is a canon of a polite society, that you don't behave wild. People look at you and know that you are polite, responsible, gentle person. That's very, very important indeed. Marriage in the kind of way that it will please God.
The groom and the bride acknowledged God for enabling their marriage a success and pledged to love each other in all aspects of life until death.
olunaku luno lwanjawulo nnyo olwesirabangako mu bulamu bwange, so essanyu lyennyina sirirabangako ddala ddala. Neebaza Mukama olw'omukolo guno olw'okuntuusa ku buwanguzi buno olwaleero.
Mpulira essanyu n'emirembe olw'obuwanguzi bwetuuseeko olunaku lwaleero. Era nali sikisuubira, naye neebaza Katonda olw'okutusobozesa n'atutuusa ku kiseera kino. N'omwami wange mpulira nsanyuse nnyo 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 nnyo. Era musuubiza omwongeramu ka anko mu biseera ebijja.
Uganda People's Defence Forces Band and the Asian Calvary Cross Choir of Namirembe Christian Fellowship entertained the gathering with marriage hymns. Sharon Chomdisha, UBC News.
Daystar Cathedral Mbara has launched a new ministry known as Daystar International Ministries, which makes it an independent ministry from Pentecostal churches of Uganda. The launching ceremony of Daystar International Ministries is to be headed by Bishop Nathan Ibrahim to Turiamureba, which was held in Mbarara. Take a look.
Daystar Cathedral Mbarara founding pastor Bishop Nathan Ibrahim Tuliamreba says they have separated from Pentecostal Church of Uganda in good faith, noting that those who wish to join them are free. Bishop Ibrahim Tuliamreba says
Pentecostals of Uganda and Daystar Cathedral, we have been in the same denomination, but right now Pentecostals of Uganda and Daystar International Ministries, we are going to be kingdom mind or kingdom partners. We'll be in the same fellowship, same relationship, and the same friendship. The only what has changed is that I will not be answerable to them, because now we'll be able to establish our own denomination. Now, we have so many ministries, Pentecostal ministries in Uganda,
and some of them are registered, and some of them are an umbrella under NAFOBAC and under BAF. So Daystar International Ministries will either be with NAFOBAC or with the BAF. We are going to decide that in our decision-making executive committee.
They did this to improve on services to the believers, as they will be taking their own decision as compared to when they were under Pentecostal churches of Uganda. He denied allegations that he sold the church, noting that the church is still standing. He rather said he is the General Superintendent Daystar Church in Uganda, with the head offices in the state of Alabama in United States of America. Bishop Ibrahim Tuliamuleba joined Pentecostal churches of Uganda as regional representative for Western Region in 1987.
Now, close to 60% of pupils drop out of school before completion of primary education in Palisa district. The Secretary General of Uganda Episcopal Conference, Messenger John Baptist Kauta, now wants parents to ensure this trend is stopped immediately.
According to a 2020 survey carried out by Citizen Initiative for Democracy and Development in Palisa District, 60% of pupils that enroll for primary education drop out before completion. The survey was conducted in 75 government-aided schools between 2018 and 2019. The high school dropout is blamed on poverty, irresponsible parenthood, and negative cultural norms. The Secretary General Uganda Episcopal Conference, The Secretary General Uganda Episcopal Conference, Signor John Baptist Kauta, advises parents to ensure that children access and complete education against all odds.
Let them do the consultations, let them ascertain the conditions, and the things should be okay when they deem it appropriate, and studies the situation, investigates, and finds it appropriate, and let them declare when they think it's appropriate.
He was presiding over the burial of Eva Matilda Kaidu, a midwife that earned status in helping children from Palisa get quality education. Kaidu had directly enabled 50 students to attain degrees in various disciplines.
If you don't know about that or the talent, sister went to school and she multiplied. She multiplied the degrees. She multiplied in so many ways. She fulfilled the scriptures. Not like that servant who buried his coin. I believe, or we should pray, God gives her fair judgment. Her acts were holy and beautiful.
The Managing Director, New Plan Group, Lauryn Omlen, is one of the beneficiaries of Kaidu's kindness. He says the deceased sold everything electronic in her house to buy him a ticket to Norway for his master's degree.
Eva was a mother, grandmother, sister, a friend, committed to her nuclear and extended family. She was blessed with the lovely children I've just introduced, a mother to her children, and yet equally guardian, a good mother and mentor to many beyond outside the scope of her nuclear family.
The Palisa District Chairperson, Etiso Cultural Union, several government and non-government organizations praised the deceased as a very hardworking and supportive person. Sharon Chomjishe, UBC News.
Well, UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with more stories.
You may have heard of physical distancing. This means keeping at least 2 arms length apart from other people at all times to reduce the spread of coronavirus. But why is it so important? Without physical distancing, each person infected with coronavirus will infect 2 to 3 others. Each of these people go on to infect 2 to 3 more, who each go on to infect another 2 or 3 people, and so on. Within a month, the infection will spread from 1 to 406 people. But if each person halves the number of people they come into close contact with, the number of infections drops dramatically. Each person would only infect 1 or sometimes 2 people, and each of those infected people would only infect 1 or occasionally 2 more. So the disease spreads much more slowly. In a month, the infection would only spread from 1 to 15 people. That's the power of physical distancing. Keep at least 2 arms length distance from as many people as you can to reduce infections and save lives. That way you protect yourself, the people you love, and your country.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Byolina okumanya ng'omulonzi ku lunaku lw'okulonda. Weeyanjule mu kifo balondera, we weewandiisiza ng'omulonzi. Lagayo ekiwandiiko ekikukkiriza okulonda. Kayinza okuba akakonge akakakasa nti oli mulonzi oba endagamuntu yo. Ku bino bw'oba tolinaako n'ekimu, era osobola okuyambibwa avunaanyizibwa ku by'okulonda okukebera n'okukakasa ebikukwatako ku lukalala lw'abalonzi. Avunaanyizibwa ku by'okulonda ajja kukakasa ebikukwatako ng'akozesa ekyuma ekikebera ekinkumu. Oluvannyuma lw'okwekenneenya buli kimu, bajja kukuwa akakonge kw'olondera. Yolekera awali ebbaafu, olonde omuntu gw'oyagala ng'ossa akayini mu kabokisi oba ng'okozesa ekinkumu. Akakonge kw'olondedde kazinge busimbalaala nga bw'onoolagibwa avunaanyizibwa ku by'okulonda. Yolekera awali akabokisi omuteekebwa obululu n'obwegendereza osseemu akaluluko. Omuyambi w'avunaanyizibwa ku kulonda ajja kusalama ku ntikko y'olugalo lwo okukakasa nti omaze okulonda. Yolesa eddembe lyo okulonda abakulembeze bw'oyagala. Kakasa nti ekifo we balondera kiggulawo ku ssaawa 1 ey'okumakya ate okulonda kuggalawo ku ssaawa 11 ez'olweggulo. Tuuka mu kifo w'olondera mu budde. Kyalira omutimbagano gw'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ogwa www.ec.or.ug okumanya ebisingawo. Obubaka buno bukutuusibwako akakiiko k'ebyokulonda.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn, Masika, Kazimoto, and on the sign language we do have Mugalu, Mohammed. Now taking a look at what's happening in our business news, researchers have called upon the government to integrate doctoral education and training in the national development planning within the context of policy objective aimed at increasing the percentage of the GDP spending on research and development. This was during research dissemination workshop on the state of doctoral education and training in Uganda at Makerere University, funded by Research and Innovation Fund.
Makerere University has held a dissemination workshop on the state of doctoral education and training in the country. Researchers used this occasion to request government to introduce a sufficient and a well-structured legal framework necessary to regulate doctoral education and training. Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, the Vice-Chancellor Makerere University, noted that over the last 5 years, the government has heavily invested in research and innovations at the university and acknowledged the government for salary increment for professors.
So the decision to pay the professor 15 million shillings. Now, I don't think any professor ever wait that he would get that kind of salary. But because the president said, we want our professors to stay here and solve our problems.
We've learned that Makerere continues to lead the number of doctoral studies that are taking place in this country, and we need to ensure that more universities catch up with Makerere. Is not only providing research funding for the education college, the College of Education, but is providing funding for more than 500 research projects.
Capacity Enhancement Project for Innovative Doctoral Education at Ugandan Universities, CEPID, is designed to build capacity for innovative doctoral education in Uganda. CEPID is a project under Makerere University Research and Innovation Fund provided by the Government of Uganda. The project is impelled by the acute shortage of critical mass of doctorates with requisite knowledge and skills to undertake translatable research and train innovative researchers in the country.
Fields have adequate capacity, and some areas of socializations have adequate capacity, but in others it is very low, and it affects research excellence.
You need to align your PhDs to where they require, and this ties directly with the monitoring planning. This, I think, has been taken note of.
According to UNESCO report of 2015, there are only about 26 researchers per million inhabitants in Uganda, and 1,000 PhD holders in various disciplines are unevenly distributed across the academia, the government, ministries, agencies and research institutions, 80% of whom are at Makerere University. Zahara Bigaba, UBC.
Connect to the world for free on Ayoba. Chat with friends for free. Play games all day for free. Jam to Ziki for free. You can also send money through Ayoba. Absolutely no MBs needed. To download the app, visit www.mtn.co.ug/mymtn and select Ayoba.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Shopping needs, come to Capital Shoppers. We have a variety of items like foods, garments, cosmetics, and all sorts of drinks. Enjoy your shopping experience at affordable prices in our fully stocked branches in the following areas: Ntinda Stretcher Road, opposite Makerere Business School along Port Bell Road, Duster Street opposite Nakasero Market, and Garden City on Yusuf Lule Road. To all our customers and suppliers, we thank you for your continuous support. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and wear your mask always.
Welcome back from that break. Now into our international news this evening. President Uhuru Kenyatta arrived at Sagana State Lodge in Njeru County and started on his 4-day walking tour of central Kenya region. Now, during his visit, the head of state will launch several complete national government development projects and inspect ongoing programs. The head of state will also hold meetings with the leadership and residents of the region to discuss national programs, among them the Big Four Agenda, the Building Bridges Initiative BBI, curriculum reforms and the fight against COVID-19, among others. The President's engagements during the 4-day walking visit have been planned in strict compliance with the national COVID-19 containment protocols as published by the Ministry of Health.
Atawasili hapa katika ikulu ya Sagana baada ya mdoso kwa mrefu hivi, na atakuwa hapa kwa ziara ya kikazi kwa takriban siku kama 4 hivi, ambapo ataweza kuwa na shughuli nyingi ikiwemo mikutano mbalimbali.
Now, many African countries have launched their mass vaccination campaign as the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic swept across the continent. Now, by Saturday, more than 3.53 million infections have been registered in Africa since the outset of the pandemic. Rwanda on Friday announced its 2-year plan that will vaccinate at least 60% of its population, equivalent to about 8 million people, to achieve herd immunity against COVID-19 in the country. Now, according to Tarsis Mpuga, who is the Minister of State in the Ministry of Health in charge of primary health care, the country will receive its first batch of coronavirus vaccines in early February, according to the official. Kenya will vaccinate 1.25 million people against COVID-19 from February to June, said Masi Mwangagi, Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Health, adding that the government has prioritized the vaccination. The people to be covered in the first period include frontline health workers as well as security and immigration personnel, she said. The official said that 9.7 million Kenyans, including persons aged 50 and above and those above 18 with underlying health conditions, will be vaccinated from July 2021 to June 2022. Now, the Zimbabwean government on Friday extended the 1-month nationwide COVID-19 lockdown by another 2 weeks from to February 15th as it tries to control a surge in new infections. The announcement came after the burial of 3 national heroes who succumbed to the second wave of the pandemic that has ravaged the country since the winter holidays. 2 cabinet ministers and a former military commander were laid to rest in the unprecedented burial at Zimbabwe's National Heroes Shrine on Wednesday. The recent high-profile deaths have set shockwaves through the nation and led to serious doubts about the quality of health services in the country. The government has allocated funds to shore up the emergency medical services, and as a prevention measure, a lockdown has been in force since early January. The government has scaled down operations, allowing only 10% of its workers to report for duty. The skeletal structure amid the pandemic means some government offices, such as one issuing identification documents, have completely shut down. There are concerns that the ensuing delays may inflict more economic pain on already hard-hit Zimbabweans. Now, the European Commission has been urging some vaccine producers to deliver the set amount of COVID-19 vaccines stipulated in contracts as they are struggling with the production capability. On Friday, the European Commission authorized the COVID-19 vaccine developed by AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford on European Union market, which made it the 3rd COVID-19 vaccine approved by the European Medicines Agency after Pfizer and Moderna. At the same time, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called on AstraZeneca to fulfill the contract, helping people in the European Union get vaccination as soon as possible. The redacted contract signed between the European Commission and AstraZeneca back in August 2020 was also published in order to pressure the company to urge it to deliver the given amount of vaccines in accordance with the contract. The European Commission also announced a temporary transparency and authorization mechanism on Friday. The mechanism requires that all the vaccine producers within the European Union have to gain authorization by member states for their vaccine exports outside the European Union. All right, now a total of 17.28 million trips were handled nationwide on Saturday, the third day of the Spring Festival travel rush, which is known as Chunyun, according to the State Council on Sunday. Now, a total of 2.9 million trips were made by railway, 13.5 million by highway, 298,000 by water, and 488,000 by air. According to the data of traffic flow on expressways on Saturday, the expressway network nationwide handled around 27 million vehicles on the third day of the Spring Festival travel rush amid stringent epidemic control measures. The Spring Festival, or the Chinese Lunar New Year, which falls on February the 12th this year, is traditionally the most important holiday for Chinese people. This festival of family reunion has seen massive seasonal travels as more and more Chinese are working in places away from their hometowns. The Spring Festival travel spree usually begins 15 days before the new lunar year and lasts around 40 days. With that, ladies and gentlemen, this edition has come to an end. Of course, do prepare for a new week ahead of you, and also don't forget to maintain all the necessary SOPs of wearing your mask, keeping a safe distance, and washing your hands with soap and water. Let's kick COVID-19 out of our country. We've enjoyed your company, and on behalf of the newsroom team and myself and Mugalu Mohammed, we wish you a blessed week and a good night.